My name is Megan Porter, and I'm a Student Conservation Association intern with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Today, I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know in order to become a skilled birder. For those of you who've never heard of birding or a birder before, there's someone who spends their time out in nature looking for and identifying different bird species. Many birders enjoy keeping a life list of all the bird species they've seen and where they saw them for the first time. With thousands of bird species across the world, birding can be a lifelong hobby. This video will go over equipment, resources, field marks, and some great places for bird watching. Birding is a great opportunity to get outside and get back to nature. So let's get started. Birding is great because equipment needs are minimal. All you need to get started is a field guide and a pair of binoculars. To get started, you don't have to have the expensive binoculars, scopes, or cameras. The reasonably priced gear will work just fine. Some national wildlife refuges, national and state parks, or other popular birding locations will even have binoculars that you can borrow during your trip. Binoculars come in a range of options and prices, and if you're shopping for your first pair, this can be a bit confusing. Many birders start with any cheap pair of binoculars. More expensive binoculars may offer the user a longer range of sight, wider view, better light or color, or other special features such as waterproofing. While these features are nice, they are by no means necessary. A decent pair of binoculars for a new birder will probably be in the $100 to $200 range. Two numbers are important when choosing a pair of binoculars: the magnification and the diameter. These specifications can usually be found on the binoculars themselves or on the packaging. The magnification will be listed first, followed by an X and then the diameter. A pair with a magnification between 6 and 8 times is a good option for a beginner because it offers a long range of sight and good color with less handshake than a longer magnification. Popular diameters for a beginner are between 30 and 42. A wide diameter offers a wider range of view and brighter colors. However, the wider the diameter, the heavier the binoculars will be. Once using your binoculars, they can take some practice to become comfortable with. Start by holding them up to your eyes and adjusting them in or out until you see just one circle looking out. Then you can use the focus ring to clearly see birds at different distances. Practice focusing on still objects such as signs until you get the hang of it. If you spot a bird that you want to see with your binoculars, look at the bird with your bare eye and then pull your binoculars up to your face. That way, you can clearly locate the bird. Like binoculars, field guides also offer many different options. The biggest difference between them is how you feel using them. Before purchasing one, it's a good idea to flip through and see how you feel about a couple different books. An alternative to purchasing a field guide is downloading an ID app on your smartphone. Many of these apps are free and easy to use. Some work like a field guide, while others will help you more with IDing birds. These are a fantastic tool for beginners who may be feeling overwhelmed and don't even know where to begin. Try out a couple different options to see which one works the best for you. It's a good idea to look through your field guide or ID app before your trip to familiarize yourself with it and how to use it. These are the only two materials you need for a great birding trip. However, I also recommend that you bring some outdoor basics with you if you'll be outside on the trail. A good pack always includes a water bottle, an extra layer for weather changes, sunscreen, a hat, a first aid kit, and a few good snacks. Before looking at an individual bird, consider the area that you are in. There are lots of different types of habitats, and not all birds can be found in all of them. Lakes and wetlands are a great place to see ducks, herons, egrets, and some species of hawks and eagles. Woody and brushy areas are home to lots of smaller birds, such as sparrows, warblers, and vireos, which often boast bright and beautiful colors. You may also check some grassland and prairie areas for these species. Sandy areas and beaches are great for shorebird species, such as sandpipers, plovers, and gulls. Never forget to check more developed areas, such as parking lots and lawns for birds such as grackles, sparrows, and crows. You must also consider where you are and what time of year it is, as many birds are only found in certain parts of the country at certain times of the year. Pay attention to the range map in your field guide to see what birds might be in your area. These basic notes will help you figure out what type of bird you are looking at, which vastly narrows down your search for its individual species. Once you spot a bird you want to identify, start by figuring out what type of bird it is, such as a shorebird, a hawk, or a warbler. Then you can find the right section of your field guide to look in. There are hundreds of bird species in North America, and this can cause a new birder to feel overwhelmed. It's important to know what to look for in a bird you want to identify. These noticeable characteristics are called field marks. First, identify the main colors of the bird. Then, see if there are any features that really stand out to you, such as a colored eye, brightly colored legs or feet, or a brightly colored or oddly shaped bill. If you can't identify the bird from those features, look for other field marks to help you decide between similar species. Check the face for an eye ring or eye stripe. These are common on smaller birds, such as warblers and vireos. Also, check for wing bars, another ID feature common on smaller birds, but also a good identifier on some larger birds as well. Look for any type of patterns the bird's feathers may have, such as speckles or stripes. If you are still stuck between a couple similar birds, check the descriptions in your field guide for specific identifying features. Your field guide will be a great tool if you get stuck on a bird. With this basic information, you should be ready for a fun and successful day of birding. Where will your first birding adventure take you? National Wildlife Refuges are a great place to go, as they are public lands set aside to protect habitat for birds and other wildlife. They may have a visitor center or information online to help you learn what kinds of birds you might see there. Many national wildlife refuges offer a variety of walking and driving routes, so you can be only as active and adventurous as you are comfortable with. If you are unable to make the trip out to a national wildlife refuge, don't worry. Birding can be done in your backyard, a local park, or even from inside watching a bird feeder. Wherever you are, you can become a birder. I hope you enjoy these beginner tips and you can use them to get started on your adventure. Happy birding!